Okay, here is lesson number 3 for your Noteflight project, excuse me. So in lesson number 3, I've given you 2 examples, 1, 2, of different rhythms that have a bass drum, snare drum, and cymbal together. So kind of like a little drum kit. So we've done this in class with the bass or the djembe drums plus the bass bars, and then the snare drum plus some tambourines, and then hi-hats to play the cymbal patterns. Okay, so we're going to listen to both of them, and then you're going to create your own patterns, two different patterns, A and B. Okay, so let's just start. We'll listen to the first one, so I can just click on any of the first notes and then click play. Okay, so when you listen to that, I want you to notice how the bass drum and the snare drum kind of go back and forth, and the snare drum has our backbeat. That means it plays on 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, right? So the backbeat is on 2 and 4. So we're going to, down here, we're just going to keep it as a backbeat. So I just wrote that in for you this time, okay? So there's our backbeat. And notice that the bass drum has some of our syncopated patterns that we've been learning. Here's our dotted quarter note, eighth note pattern, tam, T pattern, okay? Dotted quarter note, eighth note pattern, okay? In our next example, in the second bar down here, we can see our T-ta, T pattern, or eighth note, quarter note, eighth note pattern. T-ta, T-ta. So let's listen to that and notice that it's different. So I've made 2 different measures to fit together here. So let's listen to this example. Okay, so let's listen to that one more time, and I'm just going to, just for a second, we're just going to take that out so that you can just hear the bass drum and the snare drum a little bit better. Okay, so we'll listen again. Okay, so I really want you to notice when you're listening to it, the T-ta, T. Okay, listen to that, all right? So we'll just put that back in. There we go. And please, on your copy, please don't delete this stuff. That's just what I'm doing for the video to show you, okay? All right, so those are the examples. Now down here, so you're going to write a bass drum pattern, and you're going to write a hi-hat pattern or a cymbal pattern. Okay, so the bass drum pattern, notice that I used our syncopated patterns, our syncopated rhythms. So I want you to make sure that you're including some syncopated rhythms in yours, okay? And our snare, we're just gonna keep as a backbeat, which I've already written in for you, okay? So down here, let's start with a dotted quarter note. Okay, so I'll change that into a dotted quarter note, and then so we'll pair that with an eighth note. Oopsies. Try that again. Click. Oh, so I just need to change it into an eighth note, right? So click on the eighth note. There we go. So dotted quarter, eighth note, tam, T, tam. I'm going to do that again. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, so tam, T, tam, T, tam, T, tam. So another dotted quarter note. So I'll change it to a quarter note. Add the dot, there's my dotted quarter note, and now I'll put in an eighth note. And it automatically made it an eighth note because that's all that's going to fit left in that bar, okay? All right, so, and for this one, I'm just going to repeat that again. I want the bass drum to do the same thing. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it a little bit different. I'm going to change this into a half note. I'm going to change this into a half note, okay? So I'm going to change that into a half note. And then over here, I'm going to put in the dotted quarter note, dotted quarter note, eighth note, dotted quarter note, eighth note, and then we'll repeat that again here. Dotted quarter note and eighth note. Okay, so it's a little bit different. So let's just listen to that. Okay, so you can hear how putting the eighth note in here only on the second bar kind of makes it a little more interesting, isn't it? It's not just the exact same thing repeating, okay? So that's another thing I'd like you to notice up here, okay? My 16th note patterns aren't the same. It's not just the same thing repeating again. I've done different things to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's put in some 16th notes up here, okay? So select 16th note, and this one I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple. I'm gonna go ticka ticka T T, 16th note, 8th note, ticka T ta. So 16th note, ticka ticka, and then a T, so an 8th note, ticka T, and quarter note. At the end, change that into a quarter note. There we go. Ticka ticka T T, ticka T ta. Okay, so in the next measure, I'm going to keep it almost the same, but I'm going to just do it slightly different. Okay, so ticka ticka, ticka ticka T. Oopsies. I can fix that easy just with my arrow buttons. Ticka ticka T T. And I'm just going to keep this one T T, T T ta. Okay, ticka ticka T T T T ta. Okay, let's listen to that one. Okay, so there we go. So that's one done. So then you can do another one down here, something different. So things I want you to notice, things that I will be looking for. I have included syncopation in my bass drum. That means I've included dotted quarter notes. I can include some T-ta, T patterns, something that will put the bass drum off the beat, make a syncopated bass drum pattern. Okay, and you will notice that I'm not doing the same thing and then repeating it. Okay, I'm changing it up to make it more interesting. So when you do that, I will be looking for being creative with making things a little bit different from the first and the second measure, and I will be looking for some syncopation. So you can do that. You'll do A, and then you'll do B. I'm just going to do one example for you because I'm getting to the end of my 10-minute video here. So lesson 3, listen to my examples, listen a few times, notice the syncopation, notice the 16th note patterns, and then use those to create some of your own ideas. When you're done, go up to Score Details and click Turn In, and then you're finished. Remember, if you have problems, ask someone else before you ask me. Good luck.